Okay, so we are here again, back in action again this month with an Angry Black Woman podcast. So glad that you all are joining us tonight. This is National Women's History Month, but we're going to take a little spin on it. We're going to take a little spin on it. We're going to talk about the history of some wonderful Black women who were categorized as being angry Black women. So, um, I want to tell you, that this is the perfect month for us to talk about this. Um, as I was writing the blog, I thought about the fact that I have been watching. Okay, so everybody listen. I have began to watch the show Traders.
Hmm.
And I started from season one because they're in season two. I started from season one and watched all the way, binge watched all the way through the end of season two.
Mm.
I was watching on my lunch break, so it's okay.
It's a
Okay.
long, that's a lot of binge watching.
Right. So, but I'm glad it was only two seasons. Okay.
Okay.
But anyway, so I was watching that and they have this young woman on there named Peppermint.
Hmm.
And Peppermint was on RuPaul's Drag Race,
Hmm.
black trans woman,
Okay.
and she she trans from a man to a woman. Okay,
Okay.
and so her name is Peppermint, and she was the second person voted off the show. Now, if you're a fan of the show, it's all strategy, and there's lots of talk on who should have been voted off or whatever. But the reason why I bring her up is because as as a she was representing a black trans woman. Okay,
Hmm.
beautiful, 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 beautiful woman. Okay, well, they were sitting these women were sitting, a group of women, different races, were sitting in a room strategizing who should be who the traitors would kill next.
Okay.
Okay, and one of the women, who happened to be a white woman, she looked over at Peppermint and she said something to the effect of, if I get killed, I know it'll be you. Okay, so that's the same look Peppermint had. Peppermint went, "Huh?" Like that.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
The woman, the white woman, her name is Trishelle. You all would know her, viewers would know her from a show called The Challenge. And she's a serial gamer. Like, this is what she does. She goes from game to game, and throughout her life, TV, real life game.
Mm.
She's been on The Challenge many times
Mm.
and never won. But um, so there were a lot of people on the show from the challenge, from the survivor,
Mhm.
and so they were acting like gamers. And then there were a lot of people who were just real life, reality shows like The Housewives.
Oh, okay.
So Sheree was sitting there from the Housewives of Atlanta, and she was
Hmm.
the only other black woman in the room. There was one more black woman on this season, which was
Hmm.
Phaedra Parks.
Oh my goodness.
Okay,
How
so
interesting.
so Phaedra Parks was not in the room, but Sheree was there, and Peppermint, and then someone from the Shaws, Sunset, like they were, it was just a lot of different people. So when Peppermint said, okay, Trishelle, the white woman, she left the room and went to another room where other people were strategizing because they start with about 20 people.
Okay.
So now I'm telling you, this is at the beginning of the show. So she went to the, from one room to the other, and she said, Peppermint has such a bad attitude. Peppermint looked at me like she wanted to do something to me, like she was being the stereotypical
Karen.
victimized white woman
Mm-hmm.
who doesn't take responsibility for her actions. And she kept this up against Peppermint throughout the whole day. So when it was time for them to eliminate or so called banish who they thought might be a traitor, they had to take a vote. She had spread this all day long. Sheree said, well, I was in the same room and I didn't see her respond that way. Peppermint didn't respond that way. It was like, what do you mean? And the Trishelle just kept saying it, that it wasn't that. And the other people were like, well, we vote you off, we vote you off, we vote you off, we vote you off, we vote you off. Because of that, we think you're a traitor. So when they vote you off, then you have to say, you get up and you say, you reveal if you are a traitor or a faithful, right?
A fable?
Faithful, faithful.
Faithful. Okay.
So she got up and she talked about one of the reasons why she came on the show was to um, give some light to the trans world, right? And how to, there's conversations that are wrong and people who don't know how to talk to them. And so she wanted to bring light to this world that she's in, that she's a part of. And she said, and she says, I am a faithful. And then she sashayed away. Okay. And this victimized white one, well, everyone at the table, everyone at the table, this victimized white woman, Trishelle, oh my goodness, oh. After she stirred up the trouble, because the woman gave just a simple, what do you mean by that comment? Look. And she wouldn't listen to Sheree, another black woman, who said, but no, that's not what she did. Okay. And only one person brought this racial issue up, and it was a black man who was upset that he had gone along with this program to vote her off. He was a former heavyweight boxer. And he was truly upset. Like he ended up just leaving the show because he didn't like the way people handled themselves. But he was the only one. And none of this came through on social media or anything like that.
Of course not.
So you get my point. It's interesting that when someone is wrong, when a black woman is wronged because she had a perfectly normal facial expression, the fact that we even have to be keenly aware of our body language, more so than others. We have to be keenly aware. And it's not fair to me.
No, it's not.
It's not fair. I was reading an article where they talked about where this phenomenon or where this thought started.
Mm.
Okay. The fact that we can't express anger without being accused of having an attitude. As Black women, we can't um, express anger. We have nearly 7% of the workforce as Black women.
And I thought it would have been more, even given the influx of more diverse backgrounds of women. Only 7%.
Right,
I'm really amazed at that. I thought it was actually more.
right. So, for our viewers, this is where it came from. There was a show um, many decades ago
Mm.
um, that from there we began to be categorized as loud, irascible, too
Mm.
straightforward, and just plain old angry. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, and it came from a character in a TV show. Okay. A character named Sapphire in
Mhm.
Amos and Andy, where she would just plainly say what needed
Mm.
to be said
And spoke her mind
and
without filter.
right,
Mhm.
spoke her mind. But as we went along, this became a character. Y'all remember Flo from the Jeffersons? Even Wheezy to a certain extent.
Mhm.
Louise Jefferson to a certain
Mhm.
extent. But y'all remember Flo from the Jeffersons, Florence from the Jeffersons. Y'all remember Shanae from Martin Lawrence.
Mhm.
Okay. Um, y'all
Foxy
remember
Brown. Foxy
who?
Brown. Foxy
Yeah,
Brown.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
More recently, Nene Leakes
Mm.
from the Housewives, Nene from the Housewives of Atlanta, who would speak her mind very clearly and sometimes cuss you out. Okay. I mean, we even have a name for it. We got
Mm.
side eye. We have when we speak our mind clearly. Oh, look at that shade,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whew.
And
Aggression.
mhm, yeah,
And that if you want to go way back, I've heard a few scholars
hmm
that were having a conversation about the Bible, and it
hmm
came to the personalities of Eve and Lilith. And they were talking about how Lilith represented this personality of female that was what we would categorize as today's feminist. Very outspoken, very strong, independent, and speaking their mind, not submissive to the masculine, but more so very present and aware of their own divine feminine. So you go into the more acceptable submissiveness of Eve and the more uh, uh, dormant representation of her and obedient. And it seems like it was this particular type of characteristic that's been categorized as the good girl. And when you take those stereotypes of the sapphire, I call it sapphire syndrome because, like you said, we see it so far down the line generationally in a lot of ways that the ghetto girl, the black chick, the sister girl
the black girl
is
is ratchet.
right. And
hmm
that's how she's portrayed. But then when you see them in different aspects, like we have in Living Single, where we had the five black women, but they were a lawyer, they were a entrepreneurs, they were business owners, they were very successful, yet still speaking their mind, still standing up, very independent, non submissive, and they were navigating a very masculine environment on their own terms. And it was those images that kind of died out, if you notice, and then been replaced with the more entertaining, okay, these black women are fighting, yelling, cursing at each other, throwing drinks. Their bodies are exploited. They're and yeah, although they're loud and passionate about their point, it's downplayed about their intellect, their ability to be sustaining for their family,
I think it's
the ability
convenient
to
to downplay
pivot.
it. I think it's
It is
convenient to
very
downplay it.
it is, and it's
Mhm,
just kind of sad that we have to fight that image in as a collective whole, but then you get to individuals.
mhm,
Um, that every black woman is an individual. So when you look at that sapphire syndrome or that labeling, you got to get past that, and then you got to have people see you for you instead of generalizing you. So, I do agree that women collectively, we have women's rights, we have the suffrage, we have that. But, you know, don't steal the or downplay the dramatic and traumatic effects of being stereotyped as a black woman in this particular way. We're characters. We're not taken seriously. We're loud. We're passionate. We're defiant. But okay, why? And
right.
where did you get that from? You know.
So,
And when you talk about the why, it reminds me of the five facts about Harriet Tubman. You know what I'm saying? Those
mhm,
were amazing to find out how she get that way. Well,
mhm.
hey,
S-
we're
s-
a product of our environments.
So, so Harvard Business Review did several. They did several experiments because they were doing experiments around angry black women in the workplace, right?
Mm,
And they one of the first things they did was they got a group of people together, male, female, black, white, employee, employer, like they got like a lot of different people together. Okay. 300 undergraduate business students to watch 8 videos of these different scenarios of, black, white, boss, whatever. Okay. And male, whatever. Okay.
mhm,
And so I'm going to skip y'all, but the result of the that particular um, experiment was that the 300 students, the majority of these 300 students, attributed the anger of the black female employee to internal characteristics, her personality,
wow.
that it had negative consequences because the internal attributes translated into lower performance ratings and leadership evaluations.
Mm,
Okay. So this was 300 students, men, women, black, white, other races, but the participants were more likely to attribute the black woman expressing anger because of her personality. not because of what it's really about, it's the
Right.
frustration,
Mm. Thank
right?
you. Right.
So you're
Passionate
stating
about
what
our frustration.
what you're frustrated about,
Mm-hmm.
and you're so under marginalized that it's perceived as anger.
I
Black
think
women
that's the
have
best way people can handle that. Oh, she's
mhm,
angry. They don't
mhm,
want to go into the why because the why makes everyone uncomfortable. The why does. It makes everyone uncomfortable. So it's just easy to say she angry.
mhm, mhm. So so I want to say this. This kind of speaks to something you said just a few moments ago. Black women are under marginalized and have been from the beginning of time.
Mm.
Okay, except for that all woman African tribe. But
The Asante tribe. Mm-hmm.
okay, but you mentioned women's rights. You mentioned the right to vote. You suffrage. You
Mm-hmm.
mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when that passed, Black women, although they walk this walk with other races of women,
Mm-hmm.
especially white women, Black women still did not have the right to vote based on the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
But they walked this walk and they fought this fight right beside them.
Mm-hmm.
They helped them do what they needed to do to get it done. They were part of the mix, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
but they still didn't have the right to vote until the 60s.
And if you notice, it also makes me think of that movie, The Help. We were just getting out of this frame of mind with, like you said, stereotypes. And now the Black woman is going into the workforce, and we're coming into the homes of these white women that we have helped birth their children, help raise their children, nurture their children, help support their families. Now we're coming in a capacity as cooks, caregivers, it's CNAs like you have today. And we're met with these stereotypes, as pointed out in that movie. And I think this was the late 50s, early 60s, where, oh, they're wild, they got diseases, they're loud, they have a lot of men because they're all very sexually driven. Or would you really want to, they do a lot of drugs, that to cope with things, they're drinkers. But then you get in these homes and you find out there's far worse going on. But it's again that mentality, and the fact that we're passionate and speak up about this. We don't even get that right to be looked at as, I am a caregiver, I'm a worker, I'm voluntarily here to help you because now it's legal for me to get paid for what we've been doing. And
Mhm.
I am met with this particular type of stereotype when I am doing the same thing that you're doing.
But
You
you're not
want to
getting
be
paid the
considered
same as a
equal.
white woman. I'm
Oh, we'll
sad. I
never
want to
get
just tell
paid
you
the same.
that. Okay.
No,
Hmm.
I'm just happy to be working, but I still have to put up with that.
Hmm.
So I feel that movie really kind of brought that out. And I think it was around the same time that we were getting ready to, okay, now we can vote. But great. But we, like you said, been walking hand in hand up to this point, and now I'm here legally able to be paid to take care of you like I've been doing, and yet there's another stereotype I have to put up with.
Right.
And on top of that, I can't get paid equally because I'm not considered an equal still. I
So
can vote though.
you have a former first lady a journalist, and um, an athlete.
Mm.
What do they all have in common?
Please tell me that they are black women.
They are they are black women who have been labeled at some point angry. I
Now,
mean, we've seen
this is
Serena, we've seen Serena throw that
mm,
just as vehemently as what was his name back in the day, the tennis
Ash
player
or Ash.
McEnvoy or whatever his name was.
Oh, McElroy or something like that.
I forgot his name. Tennis
Getting it
player
wrong.
who's okay. We've seen her throw that racket and bang it and then get all in ref's face
Wow.
out
But
of
because of where
frustration.
she come from, she's angry. Because they
Right.
were from Compton, weren't they?
Yeah, but when she sees that a ref is not calling the game right and she's frustrated,
Like any other athlete.
and then off the court, she's saying exactly what she wants to say, she's got to be labeled angry.
Mm.
Oprah runs a multi-billion-dollar business,
Oprah owns Air, by the way. She
but she's got to be angry. You saw
angry.
the whole hubbub with Taraji P. Henson saying that
Oh.
the black actors were not being treated well,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody, because Oprah was one of the producers, they jumped on the fact that it had to have been Oprah doing all of this. And Taraji P. Henson, I don't know how many times she had to say, no, when I told Oprah, she was the one who fixed it. No, no, no. Oprah fixed it. It was other people making me Uber myself instead of sending me a car,
Mm-mm.
right? But immediately the world took the shape of that and called it Oprah when it wasn't Oprah. Oprah was
Mm.
the one fixing these things. Okay. Michelle Obama. I don't know if you remember, I think it was the New York Times cover,
Mm-hmm.
and they had her back to back with Osama bin Laden, and they had
Oh.
her dressed in battle fatigues with a rack of ammo across her, and because she has those beautifully defined arms because she's in
Mm.
shape.
Right.
Then they made those exaggerated, almost turned her into a character of a man.
Mm.
She's on this cover of this Time magazine, like angry because she speaks her mind, because she had her own agenda that was separate and apart from her husband's. And she wasn't trying to hear what her husband had to say. She was doing what she was supposed to be doing.
Thank you.
And she had her business running just like all the rest of the first women there. Right.
Right.
So
Hmm.
it doesn't matter the socioeconomic range of, or where level of where we are.
Mm-mm.
It's all about not wanting a Black woman to progress. I mean,
Mm.
there's a pecking order.
Okay.
There's white men, white women, Black men, and black women at the bottom.
Now I would have thought that had been reversed. It would have been black women, then black men,
No, because a
with the way
man
that
is a man
the
after
hierarchy
all.
is set
And if
up,
I got
huh?
to choose, I'm going to choose a man. I'm
Okay.
forced to choose now because of affirmative action. Now that might go away. We'll talk about that another show. But
Yeah.
but if I'm forced to choose, I'm going to take look at let's go ahead on and look at slavery times. The
History does
men, the
itself.
men, although they probably didn't want to be in the white woman's bed, they were,
Mm-hmm.
but they were treated better. It was less force, right? He's
Mm-hmm.
sleeping with her because he knows if he doesn't, she'll lie and say something, which still happens today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But Master is getting out of his bed, going across the yard and pulling her out of her husband's bed and raping her right there if he wanted to.
Mm-hmm. In front of the husband.
Right. Maybe, maybe not, but he's raping her. Pure and
Mm-hmm.
simple. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's been no respect for a black woman, and a black woman over time has consistently held it down for everybody concerned in her space.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to tell you the name of this job, but I was on a job. I worked there for many years,
Mm-hmm.
and it got to a point where I was there working sometimes 80 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working from home sometimes and being told that I wasn't. Now you could follow my keystrokes, but you telling me that I wasn't working from home.
Wow.
And you looking at me crazy when I say I don't understand because you can follow my keystrokes. I don't understand why. And because I said that, I had attitude. Because I had sense enough to know that you're manipulating me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I stayed there many nights putting together um, whatever programs or whatever. I put together new programs and developed new programs. Sometimes I saved us really great customers, like some of our biggest customers would want to leave,
Mm-hmm.
and I would have to get involved in order for this customer to be okay. No, okay, Phaedra, thank you. I'll make it okay. I'll be okay. Okay, I'll stay.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't want to give me the title of director. You put me in charge of every department except the accounting department. The CFO was in charge of that department. You put me in charge of every department, but you would not give me the director title, and you up the salary substantially, but you would not give me the proper pay for a director. Okay.
Wow.
All because, let me tell you how bad it was. When I went to work there, all of the rest of the black people there said, now, she's not going to let you write an email. It may be 2 or 3 months before she lets you write an email by yourself. I said, huh?
What?
I did like peppermint, huh? She never lets you write emails. You have to send them to her for her to approve them before you can send them out. I said, oh, okay. So if I shorten this story, I tell you that I was writing my own emails after a week. And This woman actually said to me, my COO actually said to me, I won't let anyone else write emails, but you speak very well. You're very articulate. If I tell you that I hate that, and I said hate, I hate that exchange, that a Black person would not be articulate, so much so that you have to tell someone that they're very articulate.
Wow.
To me, that's my world, is that I would speak properly. I can't speak for anyone else or where they came from. I can only
Mhm.
speak for myself. And that was how we spoke in my household when we grew up. Okay. I had to learn when I was 27 how to speak street. Okay. Still don't do it right. So this is a problem for me. This is a problem for me. This is a
You
problem.
know, I read in an article by Brittany Cooper about the power of anger and how also a book called Elegant Rage, a black feminist discovers her superpower. It seems that black women on every level have to be strategic at expressing their anger,
Mm-hmm.
but also realize and come to terms that we've got a lot that we are upset about, passionate about. No matter what you call it, it does not have to be angry. But if we are angry, we got right to be in a lot of ways. But the way we express, the way our voice influxes, the way we use our body, the way we gesticulate, the way we emphasize, and the way our phonics are used. That is always considered a cultural phenomenon and stereotyped in the means to keep control, to keep us
Mm-hmm.
in a mentality where thinking if I were to use my throat chakra and express something that is very passionate and near and dear to me about my community, my work environment, my health, or what is being done to me as an injustice, then
Mm-hmm.
I have to fight through your dysfunctional perception. But I also have to keep in mind that I have to kind of bridle this anger in a way so that I can ride it in the right direction and put the energy dispersing. That's tiring.
Mm-hmm.
That's tiring.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that. I like how embracing your superpower by understanding your anger, by
Mm-hmm.
understanding your passion, and by understanding how to be strategic
Mm-hmm.
and expressing it just because of this. Because everything is going to be nitpicked and looked at in a very dysfunctional manner.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you are justified, even if you're not even angry, you're expressive.
Mm-hmm.
you know, I think that every woman needs to definitely read that Eloquent Rage, but also to embrace the fact that you don't have to be submissive, passive, a doorstop. You can speak your mind, speak up for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and be assertive about it without being disrespectful. And I
Right.
think that's another thing that we're attributing this behavior to is disrespect. If a woman speaks her mind, okay, collectively, if a woman speaks her mind and it's not against the patriarchal system, she's disrespectful. If a woman speaks up or speaks out to a man, she's disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
But if you add in, oh, well, she's just doing it to another woman of the same race. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's just how they are. That's just how they are. but she's doing it to another woman outside her race, then suddenly she's being overly aggressive. She is being offensive and she's being threatening. And that is something that I feel that if we were to embrace the fact that, yes, we are passionately angry about a lot of things and justifiably so, but I'm going to be strategic about it. Everything doesn't need my voice, everything doesn't need my energy, although it does need to be addressed. Just taking into consideration, like you said, every small thing is going to be blown out of proportion. So now I've got to be strategic with how I voice my concern. And I do like the example of some of our more liberal congresswomen and women that are on platforms such as podcast shows, talk shows, and they are in the public eye. Actresses like Taraji P. Henderson, they're able to take things and this persona that they had to fight outwardly, but then get a grip on inwardly and be wholeheartedly strategic so that they could be teachers to everyone else. And I think that with women like that in place, that we could all learn something from being a little bit more strategic.
I think it's interesting that you would take someone who is a group of people who are already under marginalized
Hmm.
and then use these tactics of, you know, calling them ill-tempered, illogical, overbearing, aggressive, ignorant, without provocation, hostile. Like you're using all this negativity, which the result could be to now they're under marginalized, but now you've dehumanized them.
Mm,
So we don't have to really think of them as human when we look at them. We can just dismiss them as something less than human and
mm,
continue to put um this words on them, this
yeah.
this coat of armor on them that they are all of these horrible things.
Right.
I know that I feel like, damned if I do, damned if I don't. And let me tell you why.
Hmm.
Because I can um express myself.
Hmm.
And then when I'm really frustrated, get really loud and it comes from the diaphragm. I speak from the diaphragm anyway. So, I mean, I do have an inside voice and an outside voice, but either way I am, I speak from the diaphragm. Okay. So the air comes out.
Hmm.
That's one. And if I'm thoughtful about something or trying to be pensive and, thinking about what you told me and processing it, then it becomes, I have an attitude. I'm angry because you said something to me I didn't like. If I if I'm if I choose to speak to you this way, the way I'm speaking now, just, and you said something I don't like, but I'm keeping it here. And I probably didn't even address it. I just in my brain decided that you were an idiot and I didn't want to address it. Okay.
Okay.
So
There goes.
now I'm aloof,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. If I take that process you're talking about and choose when I'm going to say it and when I'm not going to say it and da, 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 all that strategy we just talked about a few moments ago,
Mm-hmm.
there's still going to be someone
Yeah.
who decides that I'm still angry. I'm
And that'd
still
be that
angry.
one person that's influential over everyone else.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now everyone's thinking the same thing.
Right, right. You mentioned Harriet Tubman.
Yeah, yeah, I was just getting ready to go back to that. Yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
the why behind that is very interesting.
Hmm.
Why are we angry? Why are we the way that, like, these fireballs? Why do we have so much passion to fight, so to speak? And that was what brought me to think about Harriet Tubman.
So, if think about Harriet Tubman, let's think about Sojourner Truth.
Mm,
Okay, both women um, had something to say,
hmm
but both women had a tremendous tenacity to keep going until they found partners who would, be a part of the story of Black
hmm
civil rights for women of their day, right?
hmm
Harriet Tubman, like you said, fighting for the Civil War. She's a spy. Why would she do that, right?
Yeah.
Right? I totally understand why she would do it.
It's that same fire and passion that Black women have the negative stereotype for, was the same thing that helped Harriet Tubman influence, people in a lot of places to help lead revolts, to help stage takeovers for getting ammunition at
Why would she
these
work with
federal
John
government.
Brown? Why would she work with John Brown?
Exactly, that passion, that fire for doing a justice towards
Hmm.
people that needed a voice. And because she was a woman, because she was a slave, but because she had that same fire and passion, was what influenced people. And I think that's what it is. Yeah, and
Hmm.
then you mentioned the why. Why are we angry? I was reading some facts about Harriet Tubman, and one that stood out was where she was hit over the head with the weight by one of her slave owners for doing something. I think she refused to bind a field hand for leaving the plantation without permission.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, despite having gone through, from what I understand, very cruel and inhumane treatment as a child and growing up. I think that was, as a lot of us as Black women, we're products of our environment, right? So, you have all this pressure on the outside that is fueling this passion within. And
Hmm.
we're seeing injustice around us. And when we try to go with the norm by refusing, by
Hmm.
being less aggressive and assertive, but by refusing, by staying within civil, I guess, and I'm using air quotes, civil standards of being expressive and just saying, voicing your concern. It didn't work. She got hit over the head to the point where it was so traumatic that she had seizures, severe headaches, and she could not sleep, which was probably another reason that built her passion and her drive to go where a lot of people at that time probably would have been too afraid to go, even most men. And where she couldn't sleep, couldn't function because of that trauma, was just fuel to help her do a job a lot of people could not do. And I look at that as a why. And I think about a lot of Black women, when you hear their personal stories collectively, that why is so intense. It's so traumatic that it is a fuel, a passion, it's a drive, it's a motivation that a lot of Black women have that is misunderstood as aggression, displaced anger, disgruntlement, when we are just at a point where we are actively using our voice, and we're not being strategic, we're being very expressive about our disdain for what's happening in our communities, to our bodies, to our children, to our men. And as a result, we're fighting. Because our backs against the wall, we don't have a choice. So to me, that's the why behind a lot of women, women that are perceived as angry. But then when you get to Black women with all of this generational dysfunctional perception, our why is so very traumatic. It's motivating. And it's not for the weak.
Yeah.
It takes a very strong type of force to be able to endure that why and then take it and run with it.
So the last person I want to kind of briefly talk about, um, who was portrayed as an angry Black woman, and I think in many cases she was angry, but I think for the most part she wasn't angry. She was just wanting to change the narrative for all people, but especially Black people and Black women. And that person is Angela Davis.
Mm, okay.
Yeah, if you if you think about it, one of our most famous Black women.
Mm,
Listen, we did Black History program at the church, and I had my my children come with their Black History shirts on to do
mm-hmm,
their different things, sing in the choir, dance, whatever. They had some type of Black History shirt on. But I try to I try to match the children somehow, right?
mm,
But I kind of go a little like I go a little over,
okay.
okay? Because it's the kids and it's special to them and
Right.
right. So
Mm-hmm.
normally that just means I got my heels on and my makeup and not looking like, not looking like Coach Phaedra. Not looking like Coach Phaedra. But
Okay.
but for Black History, a lot of the things I was teaching them were about our community here, where they live here, the history that is rich here.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of the senators, representatives, and things, Simone Biles, like what happens here.
Mm-hmm.
And but there were certain in their dance, there were certain elements of, the 60s dances, I would weave that in to their praise dance, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wove in, and we had a conversation about Jimi Hendrix, and I wove in an air guitar so they could be Jimi Hendrix in this praise dance, right? For Black
Mm-hmm.
History. For Black History, we can have fun with that. We can take license and have fun with that.
Right.
So I showed up with some um, bell bottom pants,
Mm.
and I had a big afro, Angela Davis kind of afro on my head.
Mm-hmm.
I had some shades on, like we have seen many pictures of Angela Davis,
Mm. Okay.
right?
Okay.
And I had a Black History shirt that talked about Rosa Parks and Ruby Ridge and then Kamala Harris.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all people who have been categorized as angry. And then, my jean jacket. So, and then I had my bangles on. Like I went totally Angela Davis or, you know, Cleopatra Jones. Like I went Foxy, like I went there. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And I had my heels on. And when we took like a group picture, I did the Black Power sign. We were all in a group picture and I did the Black Power sign. And if I tell you that the only person in the church who realized that I was channeling Angela Davis for Black history was the pastor.
Wow. Only the plant. So everybody else thought you was just an angry black woman, huh?
Oh, you look cute. You really look like, the 70s. Because that was my time, the 70s, the
Mm-hmm.
80s. That was my time. And
Mm-hmm.
so I knew how to do it. I knew what to do to look like that, right? 60s, 70s, 80s.
Uh-huh.
That was my time, my coming of age time, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
knew what to do to look a certain way I would walk in there and I would look like the 70s, but I was channeling Angela Davis. And the only person that got it was the pastor. Everyone else said, "Oh, cute. Oh, you really got it." One person said, "Can I have your glass? Can I have your sunshades?" Like,
Wow. Okay.
but my point of doing that was to give my babies a sense of Black history in a way that they don't learn in school.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've got these praise dance girls who are going to grow up, and the way things are happening now, they may be thrust back into the 50s with some of the way the things we're voting on this year. Okay.
Okay.
And I need them to know that it's okay to be strong. It's okay to have your own opinion. It's okay not to be led by a nose ring. And it's
Mm-hmm.
okay to speak clearly, speak articulately, and speak well. It's okay to hold your back up straight and be proud of who you are and be
Mm-hmm.
proud of all the things that got us to them.
Mm-hmm.
And Angela Davis is one of those people. I'm very happy to have been a girl having that as one of my role models, having that as someone that was in the TV telling me that it was okay to be who I was.
Mm.
I'm very proud of that. I mean, listen, how do you come from a place that's nicknamed Dynamite Hill?
Wow. Okay.
It's nicknamed Dynamite Hill because the Ku Klux Klan would often attack the homes of the Black residents with bombs.
Mm. Mm.
This is where she comes from. So, are you
Wow.
going to tell me that she didn't have a right to be angry
Mm-hmm.
and voice her frustration
Exactly.
and decide that she wanted to be a part of the solution rather than a part of the problem? Okay, I'm getting ready to say something that's not going to be popular.
Uh-oh.
I understand why criminals might do what they do.
Hmm.
Okay. I understand, people, the man got his foot on my neck, gotta survive. Blah, 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 blah. So I'm gonna go and steal. I'm gonna go and rob people. I don't want to work that hard. I just want to take what other people got and go fence it and sell it off because the man done me wrong. Okay. Okay.
Well, when you put it like that.
Okay. But what about the millions of Black people who actually work for what they get and do well because they just put one foot in front of the other and did what they had to do with a goal in mind. And when someone got in their way, they just kept going. They didn't just throw their hands up and go to jail all the time.
Mm.
Now, Martin Luther King went to jail a lot. Angela Davis, okay.
Okay.
Rosa Parks went to jail, okay.
Malcolm X went to jail.
On both sides of the coin, too,
Okay.
okay. But I like the part where he went to jail, like Angela Davis and all of these angry Black women who have stood up and had a purpose and wouldn't be deterred from that purpose, a good purpose, a purpose that would benefit not just Black people, not just Black women, but everyone.
Mm.
You come from a place called, nicknamed Dynamite Hill. So did you decide to just like be a ne'er-do-well and just like rob people and shoot people and go out hoeing and oh, did I say that? Yes, I did. Did you decide to become that person or did you decide to be an activist for change? And she
Mm.
decided to be an activist for change.
Okay.
She participated in high school in a program that paired Black students from the South with white families in the North. So now the goal was to integrate Northern schools and connect more white Northerners to the Southern Black experience, right? Okay.
Okay.
Angela lived with a family in Greenwich Village, New York City. The school she attended was super progressive, reinforced the values that instilled in Angela, by her parents. Like,
Okay.
okay, so she went to the school that was progressive and they were teaching what she learned at home.
Okay.
Okay. And she joined the school's communist youth group.
Mm.
She earned a scholarship to study French literature in Massachusetts. She studied in Germany and completed a PhD in philosophy. When she got back to the United States, she became involved in civil rights movement. And she believed that racism and capitalism were dangers to American justice. Racism, I agree.
I agree.
Okay.
Yes.
But my point is, here was this very intelligent, we're not going to talk about her communism right now.
Okay.
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 Here's this very intelligent person who happens to be Black, who has seen what she has experienced in her life,
Mm-hmm.
and she chooses to be the best way she can be part of the solution rather than become the problem. And I think that when we are categorized as angry, it's because we are trying to do what we do best as Black women and be
Mm-hmm.
part of the solution.
It makes
Throughout
sense.
history, we've been part of the solution.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that it speaks volumes that that's the angry black woman gets that guff because
Mm-hmm.
she wants to be an agent for change in her community, whether it's at work or at home, at the kids' school or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I, that's what I think. I don't know. You might disagree with me.
Well, I think people should like and subscribe first. I really do. I really think they need to like and subscribe because not only are we expressing content that I think resonates with a lot of people,
Hmm.
but I mean, liking and subscribing just means you're privy to a lot more of what we research and share with the world.
Hmm.
Because I think outside of general conversation, I don't think a lot of people would be aware of some of these things. And then, of course, we got people that look at the news, but then
Hmm.
we all know how, opinionated and influential that could be. So, where can you find issues that affect your community and opinions that resonate with such a diverse when you think about community, you think about diversity.
Hmm.
So opinions expressed on a diverse level, where else you gonna find that?
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't think I would have never known that it was that deep with trying to control the black female voice. And some of these articles that we have uncovered, this especially the sapphire effect, the sapphire period. Like when you got to naming those TV shows, man, it started to make so much sense. Like you always wonder, where they get this character from? Like, and then you see gradually as you come down in some of these shows that the ghetto girl or the black girl, now they got a black female consultant writer on the team. So they look a less like characters,
Caricatures.
and
Hmm.
yes, and more so like relatable people that you would see in your community. And
Hmm.
I think that they're still putting their sapphire spin on it to some extent, but
Exactly.
drawing people in a lot more, get them ratings up,
Hmm.
drawing more people in by making it more so to be, well, we don't know what we would see on a typical ghetto block. So let's bring this female perspective in and this male perspective so we get a better view, but we still want to keep the sapphire in there somewhere. So you know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So now and I think it's just important to drop this knowledge that, hey, do you know they're getting this idea from Amos and Andy, from Foxy Brown, Cleopatra Jones. This is history repeating itself. And if you don't take the time to figure out why you're angry, why you're upset, why you are you just affected by the things you see and the things around you, you really got to take a stop and think, let me go to my history books.
Hmm.
There's
Hmm.
something that I'm missing because, like I said, history is repeating itself. And you did mention something about slavery, and there's so much modern day slavery in affirmative action, in these workforce stereotypes that we have. And it's really, really coming to terms with people getting ahead in life if they're not
Hmm.
on with this type of understanding.
Right. Right. And one of our listeners mentioned that you got these TV shows that put us in the ghetto, And
Mhm.
all of us didn't live in the ghetto.
Mhm.
I didn't live in the ghetto.
I've
I,
never lived in the projects myself. Mhm.
right.
Okay. But Good Times was my favorite show.
Well, I think, especially with me watching it, I wasn't watching it in reruns. Like I was watching it when it first started. And
Mhm.
so for me, I watched it because there was such a lack um of black representation
Mm.
in other shows,
Yes.
or representation that didn't bode well with me,
Mhm.
because I'm a movie buff. Like I mean, I love to watch Turner Classic Movies. I love to watch the classic movies on all the different apps, like Prime and all of the. Okay, y'all, somebody need to give us a sponsorship. I'm still here talking about Prime and all of this, but anyway, but I will go to the classic section and just watch. I I, I spent the last um 2 weeks, right before I go to bed, I have on a classic movie, and then you know how it just skips to the next movie at the end of the movie,
Mhm.
like it just
Mhm.
starts streaming the next
Next
movie.
episode. Mhm.
Right. So I was watching from between Betty Davis and uh uh Joan Crawford. They were just
Mhm.
showing all of their movies back to back. Okay. I
Mm.
was watching a movie called The Women, that in the 40s was an all white cast of all white women. Uh, I don't believe there was one black woman in that cast at all. Not even a maid. I don't
Oh my
I don't
God.
believe.
Not even a
Okay.
maid.
Not even a maid. Um,
Wow.
but they remade the movie. The movie was remade, and now we had a lot of different women of all different races in the cast, and one of the lead characters was now a black woman. Jada Pinkett Smith was
Mhm.
one of the four lead characters, five lead characters.
Oh wow.
Okay, so I like to watch older movies for the history of it all. Like I like to see the clothing, the buildings, what was different then, and then, um, the references they make then versus the references they make now in movies. And so when
Mhm.
they do a remake like that, then it's really cool for me to see that. And I notice when there's not any black people in the movie.
It's so obvious. Yeah.
There's a
It's
movie called New Orleans with a black cast, and Louis Armstrong, and a black cast, Billie Holiday, black cast. And then there's this white woman who's in there to save the day and, bring our music to the masses at Carnegie Hall. Well, Billie Holiday did that, if you know
mm.
your history, okay,
Mm.
who again was another opinionated black woman, okay.
Mhm.
Ella Fitzgerald sang at Carnegie Hall, if you know your black history,
Mm.
who was another woman who spoke her mind, okay. So, another black woman who spoke her mind. I don't know that she was categorized as angry, but if you watch the documentary about Ella Fitzgerald, they do tell you that she was a tough son of a gun.
Mm. Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I say this, all of these women that we've talked about tonight, to me, they are a masterpiece through their anger or passion
Mm.
or whatever you want to label it,
Mm-hmm.
they are masterpieces because they contributed to our world in ways that no other people could do. And they made a path for me, my daughters, to believe in ourselves
Mm-hmm.
and to um, be a part of our world. My dance students, they they once a month they have to do community service
Oh, okay.
because they have to understand how they fit into this world.
Mm.
And so, well, okay, I'm gonna be quiet. Go ahead. What you got to say, Red Dragons? We gonna
Hey, you can find me on. Finally, I got into my Instagram account. My son locked me out of my Instagram accounts. So you can find me on IG for Red Dragon the Poet, as well as Infused Black Butterfly. And you can also catch my business, Holistic Trap Wellness, on Instagram. But on Facebook, you can definitely catch me clowning as Trap Treat or Infused Black Butterfly. I do post different events on Facebook as Red Dragon the Poet as well. So you guys look out for me. It's springtime. Spring is sprung. I'm trying to get outside and use my throat chakra and just and spread the good news about my business. So, hey, but what are you doing in the community? Because from my understanding, you and are a force with your young ladies and the praise dancing. I
So I
thought that was
do
like going out
praise
for
dance at the church,
you.
a
Mm-hmm.
local church here. And I just happened to fall into that position. Um, but I teach praise dance here. We just started a praise dance um, ministry at that church in October of 2023, and they had their first dance for Christmas, and then they did Black History. And so, and a couple of them, several of them have never really even danced before. And so, they're taking not taking an actual break, but they're taking a break from the actual presentation of their dances.
Okay.
We're just going to focus on working on dances from now until June, and then they will present again in June, but we'll be having our rehearsals. Um, so if you live in the Houston area and you want your baby to be in praise dance, come to Mount Zion Church on Nagle Street, Mount Zion Baptist Church on Nagle Street on Tuesday evening at 7:15. And then and even if you want your baby to sing in the choir, I kind of put together a little children's choir too. So
Oh,
bring bring them.
they singing and dancing.
They singing and dancing. And then and not in a stereotypical way either.
There
Um
you go.
and then the rest of the time look me up on Instagram, TikTok, um Facebook. I'm on pretty much every social media platform, I believe. Um, but look us up because Mission Chasse, CHASSE, if you want your baby to be taught dance. We just started a toddler group, um,
Hmm.
ages about 3 and 4, approaching 5, but ages about 3 and 4. We do something with them a little bit different. It's pre ballet, but we teach them. I teach them animal ballet to get
Oh.
them used to the steps. So I have a
Mm,
way of teaching the children to um, have an animal that they like, and then
mm,
we find a ballet step that matches how that animal moves. So we call it animal ballet. So we do have a
oh.
toddler class that just started. Um,
Oh
so
my goodness.
and we do all dance styles. We can come to you if you have a group of people who live in a particular area. We can come to you because it is a mobile dance studio. It's a pop-up mobile dance studio, so you don't have to come to the studio. Because we
Mm,
this year we were blessed with a brick and mortar site. I don't do that much teaching there because the business is a mobile pop-up dance studio where I come to you. Um, and we're just working on our demonstration. That will be the second Saturday in August.
mm.
And if you have want us to come and dance for you, we can come and dance for your event. You just have to go to missionchaussee.com. Let me know. We do that as well. We go to different events or different things and we dance, present our dancing. Um, I want you all to be on the lookout for a children's book collection starting really, really soon. I'm going to say within the next, between now and June. I want you to be keeping your eye on the website, thephaedra.com, because there will be a children's book series that's going to start. Um, I'm not going to tell you everything yet, but just be keeping an eye out for it.
Big things on the horizon.
Big things on the horizon, but I want you to know that that's coming. So I want you to keep looking at that website, looking for it. And that's it. This angry black woman going to bed.
Okay, this one finna go watch some TV and eat some snacks.
Okay, so guys, come back and see us next week. We will have part two of this episode because if you noticed that I started in yesteryear and moved up. So we only got to the 70s. We got more to tell you.
Oh my God. Wait
We
till
got
we
more
bring
to
it
tell
on
you.
down.
Listen, it's Women's History Month. You ain't
Hey,
said nothing. Look, you ain't said nothing but a word when you said women's
okay.
history. All
Okay.
right, honey. Did we do our best sapphire? Did we do our best sapphire?
Okay. Yeah. We got the head rolling in there. I got to give it
Okay, okay.
to
All right,
you.
guys. We will see you next time on the Angry Black Woman podcast. And remember, we're a masterpiece, not
Not ever.
angry.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Ooh.
Okay, what you thinking?
I can't wait to see what we come up with as far as the next episode.
Well, I got to come up with the people.
Girl, looking at that about Harriet Tubman, tying that into the sapphire, because I remember we did that for our first episode with Angry Black Women. So I like how we got that in there and then got Oprah and Michelle Obama and just tied that into a lot of our previous episode because that was getting exciting. And then when you kind of brought it down and you talked about Martin Lawrence, Shanae, then we got to talking and bringing it further down. It's like, yeah, this is going to be good because when we
Mm-hmm.
start getting into the times where people are seeing more of people they can relate to, this is like I said, this is a topic where I don't think a lot of people are getting this information outside of conversations that they're having.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that the material is engaging. Like, I didn't know that. And had you not brought this article up, I'd have never known that about Harriet Tubman. And I love history. So I really do like the content, and I like the information, the articles.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I like the articles. And I like I said, I really want to get more into eloquent wage, because I'm telling you, fighting that angry black woman thing where you want to go off of instinct, but then you're trying to be more strategic. I swear that's my current situation. I am really
Mm-hmm.
trying my best, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
also finding that's my superpower. I'm passionate. There's fight in me. And I know that there are things that are bigger than me that I want to fight for,
Mm-hmm.
not against. So
Mm-hmm.
just learning how to use my words so I can be taken seriously
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and not come across as crazy, because it does make a lot of sense when the older women were always telling me, you win more flies with honey, you get more.
Mm-hmm.
And my mama used to say, "Oh, Mama, I don't want to. I'm spitting at everybody. I don't care." And nah, you get more flies. Mama, I don't want to be nice to people.
Mm-hmm.
And but I really see how if you use your words a certain way, you get your point across. And you make the biggest impact, because they are expecting you to be angry. They are expecting you to like go left field. And it's like, yeah, I'm ready to go left field. Bring out the pitcher, the catcher, everybody. We playing over here today. So I am really trying to learn how to do that, but there's a balance, and there's some things I don't agree with being silent about. I
Mm-hmm.
think that
And you don't have to be.
but we don't have influences in like Angela Davis and some of our other more militant minded, feminist driven matriarchs that have been exiled, banned, arrested, killed.
Okay, so
And
let's talk about Kamala next week,
mm, okay,
because
okay,
I think in today's time with, the white supremacist groups and,
hmm,
all of this hatred and all of this, I
hmm,
think that she is, I mean, we could find some others, but we can make, maybe I can find some comparisons to her, because
okay.
I was going to start with somebody like Maxine Waters or Shirley Chisholm.
Oh, Maxine Waters is interesting.
Either
I would
Maxine
like to
Waters or
know
Shirley Chisholm,
about
because Shirley Chisholm was the first woman to run for president.
Get out. That's why I'm finna go watch that Netflix movie. So that's what Shirley they talking about. Shirley Chisholm? And I didn't know that she had ran for president.
Yeah. So I was going to start with her. We
Hmm.
can talk about Kamala,
Okay.
and maybe I could find one other person in there, because I mean everybody knew about Oprah and Serena and all of them. That's why it was okay to kind of throw them in today. But
There is a black female activist, and I believe she was exiled from America. And this was around the 70s, 80s. She was actually exiled, and she was extremely influential. And I believe this is right before, because Angela Davis was influenced by her. And
mhm,
I cannot, this woman's name came up when I was doing research about the Black Panthers. So this was around the time the Panthers were falling, and some of these strong militant activists were getting caught up with the FBI. She was on their most wanted list. Uh, and the reason why, this woman was nonviolent, but she did roll with the Panthers and a few other like militant like Angela Davis, but she was
Mm-hmm.
very independent, very outspoken, and stood strongly against a lot of what the FBI was trying to do as far as drugs in the community.
Mm-hmm.
And she stood up for community, women, and drug addiction. And she got to be so influential. I think something happened where she had a choice given to her by the FBI. She had to either be exiled or she was going to be put in jail for life.
Okay. Okay.
And she chose to be exiled.
Hmm.
And I for
Can't think of who that
oh
is right now.
I man, I just know that was the era that she came out, and when I was researching them, her name came up too. So I'm gonna find out because her story was very compelling, and
Okay.
she wasn't the act. She came out before Angela Davis did.
I got to think of who that was. Because
That's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying.
I should
Cause
know who
she
that
was
is.
we should, and that's what I'm saying. Like we had so many very strong feminist leaders that were out there when the Panthers and everybody else were coming out in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And then when all this stuff was being infiltrated, yeah, too many
Right.
people were taken down and but she was exiled. She
Okay.
was exiled. So I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna find out who that is if I can.
Okay. Okay. Let me know who that
All right.
is so um we can add don't worry about me. I'm listening to you, but I'm just trying to rearrange my I had to take my computers down from my desk for my
Oh,
job so that cuz I was
uh,
see where the computer is right here. I would have been doing this.
yeah. Okay.
So I took my monitors down and that's all I'm doing is putting them back up. So I'm listening. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just like while
Oh
we
no, you
talking,
good.
I was like looking at it over there on the bed and I was like, you know you can go ahead on and put them up back on the stand.
Yeah. No, you good. You good.
So yeah.
That's
Okay,
yeah,
let
I
me
am
know who that is
okay.
so I can okay, I did better. I didn't have no script, but at least I
We
had
do
some content.
yeah. Okay. I'm glad how we was able to keep in line with the articles. Like when you kept them in order that way.
Yeah.
I like how we was able to go down the line like that.
Yeah. That's what
Mhm.
I think it's better when I can like whatever we're gonna talk about, like the flow of how we're gonna talk about it. I had a
Mhm.
tab set up the way I just moved from and so then it keeps it in the order.
Yeah.
No chaos. No chaos.
Mhm.
So but anyway,
Okay, Mamacita. I guess we on for next Monday then.
yeah, let me go find me something to eat. I ain't really I mean I eat, but I don't eat.
I
Like my
feel like a
lunch be in a little
vegan.
bowl, like about like this.
I'm thinking of becoming vegan. I'm so sick of this food.
Girl,
Like,
I've been
give
learning
me
how to
some
cook
plants
tofu.
and vegetables, and I'm. You know what? I'm like me and my son is doing his like nutrition stuff, and I'm
Uh-huh.
like, the chicken is good, but I'm looking at it at the store, and it's like this ain't right. This too many
Right.
hormones. I can't
Right.
deal with this. Like, no, we're gonna have to find our protein from another source. Give me some nuts, some plants, and let me figure out how to make a soup or something because I can't do this.
Well, I've been like I said, I've been doing because we help out at the pantry, food pantry once
Mm-hmm.
a month.
Mm-hmm.
When you volunteer, they just give you some food.
Oh, shoot, I gotta do that then
And
because
so
some of the stuff is okay, but a lot of it is nasty.
well, some of it is okay and some of it is expired.
Yeah.
I just take it and I just take whatever they give me
Mm-hmm.
and be grateful. And
Yeah.
then I will like just go through it when
Right.
I get it home. And if it's out of date, then I just get rid of it. If it and not all of it is always out of date.
Oh, right. The only thing I hate about the stuff they give us is that pork in a can. Like, ugh.
So I've not seen that at this place where we go. Like I get
Hmm.
like actual pork roast,
Oh.
those pork loin roast.
Hmm.
I get like those, like I might get two or three. I didn't get any. This time I went, they were giving catfish, fish sticks, and chicken.
Hmm.
The last time, as I was walking out, so they were already giving white fish, chicken, pork, the pork loin roast. But as I was walking out, the lady that's over it, she was like, "Hey, Phaedra, come here, take this chicken." And it was a big old bag of chicken legs, like seriously this big.
Wow.
So it really ended up helping me because um like starting on Friday through
Hmm.
Sunday, I
Hmm.
cook double because whatever I'm cooking for this household, I cook for my daughter's household.
Right.
And so it helps me be able to do that because there's no way I would be able to um buy that much food.
Mm. I heard that. Oh.
We get like tortillas. Sometimes it be stuff be frozen, but it's okay if the tortillas frozen because if the tortillas are frozen, then when it's time to eat tacos, I take them out and then cook the
There you
taco
go.
right like
Okay.
that, right? I
Mm.
got like about 6 bags of those teeny tiny salad shrimp.
Oh, okay.
They 2 pound bags.
Mm.
And I got about 6 bags of those in the freezer. I haven't even done anything with.
Good
But once
gracious.
before I
See?
made some shrimp tacos.
Oh my
They
God.
gave me 2 cases of tofu. So
Two
me and my
cases.
daughter be eating tofu. I make meat for her
Mm.
man and my man. But then for me and her, I make that same dish with tofu.
Mm-hmm.
So um yeah, I think that yeah, if you go to the pantry, you might get some chicken.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of depends on what they have available. But this place, I think one time they had some canned meat. They even give you like the taco meat already ground up and seasoned. And all you gotta do is warm it up and put it on your tacos. The ground meat with the taco season already on it.
Mm-hmm.
They also give you like one day we had pulled pork.
Oh, okay.
It was already seasoned. You just had to get it and warm it up. And it'd be frozen. It'd be frozen, but I like it being frozen because then I just put it in the deep freezer and
Mm-hmm.
um and then as I need it, I pull it out. And it helps because I still end up spending maybe about $200 for like, you know, the bread, the fresh vegetables, the frozen vegetables, the staples like flour and all of that. I still end up spending about $200. But that's better than $500 that I was spending at first. Cause he used to was give me like about anywhere from 150 to $200 to buy groceries.
Mm-hmm.
And we would go to the grocery store and he would spend that much. And then throughout the month, I would spend another $200 to getting the different stuff we needed. Like if I want to make a lasagna, now I got to go get the cottage cheese and all of that, you know. So it's been saving money to go there. And I mean, I didn't go there for them to give me food initially. Like I went there to just help, but I was walking out the door. And she was like, here, no, y'all help. You need to take some of this food. So,
Mm.
and when I wasn't working, I used to go to several different pantries. I can't go to the other ones I used to go to now, but when I wasn't
There's
working, I had several different pantries I went to.
okay. There's a couple I like. One they give you flowers, cookies, and a nice little assortment of stuff, and you can get some decent meat. But girl, I got to go all the way in the hood and
Mm.
stand in line for about 30 minutes.
So
And get
that
in there and gotta
one,
sit and wait at least another hour.
that I go to once a month, that one is in the hood,
Hmm.
cross town. But
Yeah,
like I
man.
said, we going there to work community service anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm not as upset about it being a long way away because
Mm-hmm.
to me it's going to be worth it because I'm going to get the community service accomplished and help all those people who waiting in the line for 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, okay. Because the people are so nice when we get up in there. That's what I appreciate. Because there's some places where these people act like you taking right out their refrigerator. And
Right.
it's like, I don't want to be here, but I got to be here. And then I had one right around the corner from my house, girl. I had just been there the month before. So I'm making my appointment for the next month as usual. And
Mm-hmm.
it took them a month to call me back. I got so mad when they finally called me back. I didn't even answer the phone
Wow.
because it's like I've left repeated messages. I have explained that this is a St. Louis area. I don't understand. I was just there 30 days ago. And now don't nobody want to return my call, and I'm calling to make an appointment to get food. And it
So,
got so bad where I was running out of food. So that's when I had to go down to the said, forget it. And I just went down into the hood. Like I went to several places just on the
so
hub.
the ones that I've been to, um, you don't have to make an appointment.
Mm,
When you go the first time, they
mm-hmm,
sign you up and put you in the system, and then they give you
uh-huh,
a number.
mm.
So every time you show up and you get in the line, you just show your number because it keeps track of how many times you've been. Not that you have to make an appointment, but they limit the amount of times you can come. Like one of them, you can only come once a week. And there's another one that you can come every week and you can come on the days that they serve, right? But you can't come on this other day because they serving people that don't have a car. Like that.
Oh,
They
okay. That's
yeah,
interesting.
that's the way they do it here. You can go on whatever day. You just have to have like a membership number
Okay.
to keep track of how like you went you especially like that one where they say you can't come but once a week. So if you
Yeah.
came on Monday and then you turn around and try to come on Thursday, they're not gonna let you do that because they only have a limited amount of food. But this one where I go once a month, they had a lady that used to volunteer for the Houston Food Bank. Like she was a big volunteer to the day she died at the Houston Food Bank. So the Houston Food Bank let them order anything they want.
Wow.
They can like go on and order what they want to give to the people in their neighborhood, and the food bank let them order whatever they want. So there's
Mm.
always an abundance of canned goods. There's always an abundance. I have, I have some of the rice they gave me last time in my rice container. And then I have three 2-pound bags of rice on reserve.
Wow. Okay.
And I got it like that because like because I cook for two households.
Mm.
Like every week I'm cooking,
Yeah, for some. Yeah, that makes sense.
right? So before then I didn't take all that. Like, and it's somebody that goes with me. If she don't want certain stuff in her household, like she just gets everything too. But
Mm-hmm.
like if it's something that she really doesn't eat or she doesn't want it or she got too much of it at home or whatever, then she just give me the rest of it. And I just
Hey,
make sure
make
I
Mac.
cook.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they gave me that one day I walked there and they gave me 2 cases of tofu with
Oh.
12 containers of tofu in each case. Then I went back another time and they had a smaller container that had 4 things of tofu. So I just been figuring out how to cook tofu. Me and my daughter been eating the tofu. I made some beans. They give you pinto beans. I got pinto beans and lentils coming out the woo woo.
Wow.
I cooked some pinto beans in the crock pot the other day because my sugar was high and my legs were hurting. So I worked, but I knew I couldn't stand at that stove.
Mm-hmm.
So the night before, I put the, no, that early that morning when I woke up, I put the pinto beans in the crock pot, and for like I said, for her man, for my man, I
Mm-hmm.
put uh ground turkey in theirs, and then no, her man don't even eat beans. I made chicken for him,
Okay.
and I made beans for her with tofu in it.
Wow. Okay.
And then I had some shrimp uh with like some bell peppers and onions cut up in it
Oh,
for
okay.
her. And then I had one other thing for her. Um and then like one day I made sweet potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's stuff like that I have to go get, you
Mm-hmm.
know, sweet potatoes, potatoes.
Okay.
I have to buy that. So, but that day they gave me, one day they gave me some olive oil, a big old gallon of olive oil. One day they gave me some flour, a 5 pound bag of flour.
Okay.
They be ordering some good stuff.
They do
Mineral
because
water.
I get nothing like that up here. Nothing.
Yeah.
You should see it like the if we when they was giving stuff out for the pandemic through the Urban League, those care packages were so much better,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the food. But it seemed like okay, pandemic over is let's just throw this shit in here and give it to them. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it feel like. So to hear y'all get stuff like that, it's like whoa,
Mm-hmm. Even the
yeah,
other ones that I used to go to, like it's one that I was going to at first. The cars be like a mile down the road.
mm,
And they keep taking you till they get to a certain point and then they'll cut it off, but they try to serve everybody. And
yeah,
every once in a while they'll have like other stuff too. Like they
mm,
had a patio chair
mm,
one day. They had a plant. One day they had that thing that it's a machine. You put the food in it and it sealed vacuum seals the food.
yeah. The vacuum
They
seal, yeah.
Yeah, they had one of those. They was just giving it away. That's the one over here by my house. But it's
Mm,
hard for me to stick to that one. Well, now I can't go because when they open, I'm working. But even before then, it was hard for me to. I had to stop going because of the how far that line is, and my
mm-hmm.
car it doesn't like to sit idle. So it's
Okay.
like turn the car off, scoot up 1 car inch, turn the car off, scoot up 1 car inch. Like I can't really take that one. anymore. But I found two more, and you just park in the parking lot, go stand in the line, and I just stand there and just wait. But I can't go to those two anymore either because of my work schedule. So this one where I go once a month and get a whole bunch of stuff, that's working out. And so like that $200 is barely all I really have for food. Like
Mm-hmm.
I barely can stretch to do that because I'm trying to like pay all these stuff that I had to that I wasn't paying because I ain't had no job.
Okay.
But it's saving me.
Let me go because they putting stuff in this chat, and
What
she
chat?
put books. My social club chat. And suppose they having a class, and I'm like, gee whiz, thanks for letting me know. Like,
What
damn.
kind of
Okay.
class?
Well, they're trying to give the members like a general understanding of like patches on the vest, different set nights, different clubs, kind of protocol when it comes to what you wear, what colors or what,
Mm-hmm.
and who's in your group, who has what position, who are they, things like that, so that we all stay on the same page and start knowing uh different little
Yeah.
things that we should know. And we had discussed this for so long, so it's like it would have been nice to know we was having class tonight. I just saw y'all up there for a meeting we were supposed to have, but everybody that was supposed to go didn't show.
Right.
And when I got to work, like I'm the secretary, I got to work late, but I already told them earlier that day, look, something came up. I ain't gonna be able to make it.
Right.
Can we do it another day? Oh no, we'll just fill you in. Okay. I get there to be filled in, everybody looking all smug and upset, and I'm like, damn.
That
Well,
boy.
I'm gonna stay, yeah, I'm gonna stay positive. I got some stuff going on, and I don't want to project any negativity. And I'm constantly
Right.
being told about image, attitude, and some of it is kind of like annoying, but I'm understanding.
Right.
And these are other women. I'm not used to all of this. So I'm
Gotcha.
still adjusting, but I'm learning. So I'm just trying to keep a positive mind. But right now, I got stuff that I'm trying to get focused and get through, and I
Mm-hmm.
can't be bothered about. Okay, I'm finna check in, and I'm not finna argue with nobody. I'm not finna ruffle no feathers. I'll check
Mm-hmm.
in when I check in. But right now, I got some stuff I'm trying to do. So that's my
Gotcha.
attitude.
All right, girl.
Oh,
We'll be talking. Just tell me when you come up with who that person is.
I am going to be looking them up. I am, because I'm telling you, I was intrigued.
Yeah.
Okay,
All
I'll
right,
get
love you,
back to you.
Gator. Thank
All right,
you.
thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.